About things. Sure, you know that.
I sure do. Does that feel weird?
Nah, I'm all good with it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Conservatish episode 55. 55, ladies and gentlemen.
55.
And our guest today is AG, and we're going to talk about lots of things, and one of them being how shitty the East Bay is.
Negative.
Negative. You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. You can find Oakland in the trash. No, you can find you can support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish. And you can get all kinds of nice nifty goodies as well. And then what else? Leave a review and what else? You should know this. You've listened to a couple of episodes.
Support Pete financially.
I already said that.
He's struggling a little bit. That's not true. I mean, it might go in the trash. All of his East Bay fan base might be leaving his viewership. But after I talk so much shit. Yeah. No, these motherfuckers know I hate the East Bay. All right. I mean, we might need to leave some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Memorial. No.
Monies.
No, I mean, you need to put it on one of your social media accounts. Tell us who won in this debate. Let us know.
You better fucking know I goddamn won. Ain't nobody gonna go, oh, AG won. You're
I mean, it might be true.
It's not gonna be true.
I mean, my hope here is that some of you will come experience the greater side of the Bay.
Yeah, smell like trash.
The sunnier side of the Bay.
Smell like trash and hippies and gangsters.
Come see how superior our Mexican food is. That's an absolute fact.
God damn it.
It's an absolute fact. Shit. You won't have to wait an hour for the newest trendy spot like you will here in San Francisco.
And rate and share this with your friends. Welcome. So you and I have been friends for a long time. Probably like 5-6 years.
It's been a little longer than that.
But 8 years?
Yeah, close to it, man.
You had a giant bushy beard all the way down to your titties.
Down to my belly button almost.
Oh my god. You look like which one of the? It wasn't Doc. Who had which dwarf had the beard like yours?
I'm not familiar with each of the dwarfs.
You've watched Snow White though.
I've seen Snow White. It's probably been a few decades. My girlfriend will probably be mad at this due to me not knowing my Disney dwarfs. But yes.
Are you guys going to Disneyland? Have you been?
I have been to Disneyland as an adult. It was a lot funner than I anticipated.
I hate that it's so technical the way you talk about it. Yes, I have. It's very professional. It's disturbing me very much.
I've been once as a child and once as an adult. So.
Just say kid. Don't say child. I have been once as a juvenile, and then as I grew.
Before the age of 18 and after the age of 18.
You're
it was
a bothersome
fun.
Individual.
I'm a big fan of the Cars ride. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
See, I've never been. I don't think I've been since Cars came out.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's well done.
Have you seen the movies?
I have not. The last. I've seen a few of the live action.
Did you ever do the Aerosmith Rock and Roll Coaster?
No, I do not remember.
It's an awful thing.
Oh wow.
I don't remember it, but I remember that it was.
You're not talking about Space Mountain to the tune.
No. I'm talking about. It's in Disneyland. It might be in California Adventure. It might be actually Disney World.
Whole different
because Florida people are a little stupider than California people.
I'll give you
That's
that.
That's actual legitimate fact.
Yes.
Allie from episode 9 or 10, she knows.
Shots fired, right?
No, she hates Florida too. There's nothing good in Florida. There really isn't.
I mean,
even like spring training, fuck all that shit. They could move it somewhere else. I literally have family over there. I would take those 10 to 15, 20 people, whoever they love, just move them out and then just sink that fucking thing into the goddamn ocean.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Learn to swim.
Yeah. I mean, every alarming news article that comes out is either from Florida or Ohio. So
like Robert Kraft, poor Robert Kraft, dude.
Poor
Robert Kraft. Okay, go ahead.
Poor Robert Kraft.
Yeah, what do you feel? Do you have an opinion about it? I mean, you're obviously a Raiders fan.
Yes, and I will never support anything that has to do with New England, the Patriots, the Boston Red Sox.
But the man was just trying to get some puss. There's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like billionaires can be a little more discreet about it.
A little more discerning.
Yeah.
Around who they're where they decide to be clientele.
Correct.
There's my finger, everybody. Hello.
Yeah. I think the issue with the whole Robert Kraft situation wasn't the fact that he was paying for sexual favors. I think the link to possible human trafficking.
Okay, wait a second. Wait. But I don't see. I mean, maybe it's because I haven't read a whole lot of it, but it didn't sound like he was actually linked. Just that the place was linked to possible human trafficking.
Yes, he was patronizing a place.
Okay, well, how are you supposed to know? If you're just a John, how are you supposed to like interview each of the girls? You don't even know what their fucking real names are. You're just getting a handy.
It's a fair point.
Sometimes a man needs a handy, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That sounds like something you have expertise in.
Giving handies? Yes, but I was not human.
Giving
trafficking.
and receiving? Yeah, I don't know.
Receiving.
Okay.
I do enjoy sexual things. You can feel free to email me at conservativepodcast@gmail.com. Love you, girls. I just figured, like, okay, was it legal? No. Was it sketch? Yes. Was it, but should the man be persecuted? You know what I mean? Like, he's an old man. He maybe didn't want to spend a couple of his millions or billions on, like, a legit prostitute. He just wanted the seediness, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the fact that it is the New England Patriots owner comes into play here.
Why?
Which I'm not against. Everyone hates the Patriots except for people from Boston.
I kind of wanted him to get one more. I wanted Brady to get. All right, listen. Let's stop real quick. You dislike the New England Patriots. Can you at least give props to Brady?
Tom Brady is an above-average quarterback.
Why wouldn't you say he's the best? Do rings not count?
Rings do count. I don't think all of it is on his shoulders. I think the coaching staff and the team that Bill Belichick has made around him has contributed to this.
Okay, so you're saying you do think that there's a positive aspects to the New England Patriots.
I think it's going to kill me to say this, but I think that Bill Belichick is one of the better coaches.
Why would you say
in the history of the NFL?
I mean, the Raiders. The coach for the Raiders can't be. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say that guy's the best.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. They do have one of the best coaches in their past, in John Madden.
Okay. Oh, John Madden. Oh, okay. All right.
Was a Raiders coach. Led them to Super Bowls. So, John Madden is up there. I mean, we could get into this debate all day long. Bill Belichick is a definite football-minded person. Has created a great team. Tom Brady. Small little side note. Supposedly from San Mateo, California, my hometown.
Really? Yes.
I will not acknowledge that fact.
Why would you? Okay. All right, couple of things. But he's fucking great, for sure. I'm not a huge, giant Patriots fan or whatever. But that motherfucker did some goddamn work. He's really good.
From what I heard, he is definitely puts in his time,
Why would you
training.
say? Why? Is it because... That's okay.
That's fine.
Mike the Southerner that we know.
Mike the Southerner,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's okay, yes. But, like, that's the thing, is that, okay, you can't measure all of it by rings, but that's a good goddamn sign, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is possible. I will admit that my personal feelings upon the man and the organization are coming into play here.
They may be affecting your judgment.
Yeah, I may not have a completely unbiased judgment of the New England Patriots. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Tastes better.
Smells great.
No, it didn't. Did it really smell? Patreon.com/conservatives. Okay, but you grew up as a Raiders fan.
I did grow up as a Raiders fan.
Because you're a San Mateo boy.
I am a San Mateo boy.
Why didn't you get into the Niners?
Well, what happened is the Niners were in their heyday, me growing up in the late 80s, early 90s.
Isn't that a better reason to like them? Fucking Rice, Young.
Well, you think, I'm not really into the teams being chosen for the child and them coming up with their upbringings just predetermined to be Niner fans based on their geographic location.
All right.
So what happened for me is me and my dad were watching a Monday night football game.
How old were you, sir? Because I think you came out of the womb with that beard already on.
This is true.
Yes.
This is true.
You came out of the womb 43.
It was 1995, I believe it was. So I would have been 8 or 9 years old. I can't give you the exact date. My dad did turn on Monday Night Football. The Raiders were playing the Denver Broncos, and a man by the name of Jeff Hostetler was the quarterback for the Raiders at the time.
Okay.
I saw the black and silver uniform, and I said, "Who are those guys?" to my dad, which he, as most people did at the time,
said,
replied unfavorably. Oh, yay. Those are the Raiders.
Yes. Well, there was a good reason for it, I'm sure, even back then, no?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't the greatest team back then, but...
have they ever won a Super Bowl?
Oh, they've won 3.
Okay.
Yes, they've won 3.
The last one was like 67?
Well, now that I'm on the spot now, of course, I can't fucking remember numbers. But, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
It's fitting that I gave you that mic instead of mine, though.
Black and silver, yes.
Yes,
represents. But yeah, I just decided at that point that the Raiders had this bad boy image. I liked the emblem.
Bad boy image.
I liked it, man. I liked it all, and that was when I became a Raider fan.
Have you ever pasted yourself in like the paint and like gone full bore?
I'm not into the paint. I feel that that's better left to the professionals. There are people who have their alter egos, if you will, that they come in game ready on game day.
Are you like Facebook friends with some of these people and they go by their alter ego? Like,
yeah, I'm not Facebook friends with them, but I do follow them on Instagram. Gorilla Rilla is one of them. He dresses in a gorilla costume.
Oh, I've seen that motherfucker.
Yeah, he goes to every game, home or away. So he's a dedicated fan.
What the fuck is his job?
He's, from what I heard, they did this behind the costume article on the website, and he's a landscaper out of the East Bay,
and he just requests off
Danville. Yes, sir. Shout out Contra Costa County.
Danville's not.
Yeah, I mean Danville is what it is. It's Atherton of the East Bay.
I prefer Contra Costa to Alameda for sure. Contra Costa has some good points, including, and you may disagree with this because I know how much you disagree with
everything you say.
Yes, most things. Because it does feel a little peninsula-ish, but Walnut Creek is kind of legit, dude. I kind of like that Pleasant Hill, Walnut Creek. I'm sorry, I've dated a couple girls out there, and there's some. It's that Palo Alto blood that kind of feels.
It is very Palo Alto. It is very Palo Alto.
I like skinny white girls. What can I say? But there's. I kind of like the Walnut Creek, Pleasant Hill, or P Hill, as they sometimes call it.
I've never heard that.
I like the Contra Costa County more than I would the Alameda County.
I feel like your distaste for the East Bay comes from areas in which you don't feel safe.
No, it's not a safety thing.
I think you like notes? San Francisco. If you were going to take notes,
we would absolutely fucking. Did you bring did you come weaponized? Did you gird your loins?
You know for a fact that I have a very strong mind. Yes, I have thought of some points I would like to make here.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Since it's my podcast and I'm going to win this, why don't you go ahead and start with one of your fucking points.
One of my points is what I was just discussing, that I believe your distaste for the East Bay stands from places where you don't feel safe.
Okay, well, let me address
Peter Feliciano
Finish your point.
Likes places where he doesn't have to look behind his back, where he doesn't have to lock the car doors on his vehicle as he's driving through the neighborhood.
Okay, I'll counterpoint.
Peter Feliciano does not have street points. Does not have street points. Whoa! And then the N-bomb just got dropped. I was not a part of that, by the way. I guess he's got a pass because of his quarter Puerto Rican blood.
Half Puerto Rican. And some black, too. I'm some black.
That's cool.
Only in the dick.
Is that what your 23andMe said?
Listen, a couple of things. All right, let's address this. First things first. The point you made was, I think Peter Feliciano I'm a dweeb. So let me address this. Doesn't everyone like to live in a place where they feel safe? Everyone fucking likes that. What, you like to have your busted windows?
Where do I have busted? I've never had busted windows.
You've never had a busted window?
Oh, the place that I had a busted window?
Where?
Was not in the East Bay. My car was stolen at Menlo Park, California. bordering upon the richest zip code in the entire United States.
Shout out Boo. Shout out Boo. Boo knows who she is. Okay, listen. All right. Yes. All right. But address that thing I just said. Address the thing I just said. Doesn't everyone enjoy knowing that their shit is safer than that their body, their person, their belongings are safer?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say that part there. No. That's a legit point. Second thing.
Yeah.
Second thing. God damn it. Is that there's a it's not the safety issue as much. It's the safety issue with a blank-faced. I'm fine with like the let's just be real. The blacks and the Latinos and the dangerous gang shit, whatever. If all the white people would go, yeah, this is some dangerous shit. Like East Palo Alto. Everyone, I mean, yeah, you could call it gentrification. They stay on their side of 101. Wouldn't you? But okay, let's just say I would rather have it honest than all the white motherfuckers who have access to daddy's bank account and just make believe that it's not dangerous. Just a bunch of little white girls who are going to fucking UC Berkeley with their little handbags and they're just walking like holding the phones and laptops, just like steal this shit, rape me. You know what I mean? Like there's no it's this weird like white guilt thing that makes the white girls and the white men just like make believe that it's not a dangerous, awful shit storm in the East Oakland, in the West Oakland area specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a valid point. I think that there is a form of hipsterism, not even. There's a form of hipsterism where they almost feel drawn to low income areas. They want to be the first person to make it cool. They want to. I don't know what drives those people because I'm not one of them. Sure. I can say that in most of the parts of the East Bay that I have been to, frequented, ate at, lived in, all of that stuff, very rarely have I ever felt completely unsafe.
Right, and that's part of the other point to that first bullet that you brought up, pun intended, is that I only feel like in danger in like a couple of spots. Like really West Oakland is kind of it. You know what I mean? Like outside of West Oakland, what, Berkeley?
A little dangerous.
Fremont? Nah. Hayward? Nah. Niles? Nah. And I'm talking really specifically Alameda County specifically. I don't feel all that unsafe there.
No. I mean, most of the quote unquote bad neighborhoods have been pretty consolidated, as you previously stated. They're small areas,
right? But I had an ex-girlfriend who lived over there who
lived
in the over on like MLK, and especially like when it starts to get higher in number, that's when it starts to get more dangerous the more south it goes.
It depends on what part.
Fucking hoods in that shit. Holy fuck that. There's that one. In that group that we sometimes go to, there is a fellowship hall. I think it's Ridge. It's like a brown building on like right near MLK.
Are you talking about International Boulevard?
Maybe. I don't know. I get always.
I know what you're. Yeah. You know what I know what you're talking about. Where the people were playing dominoes before.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Come on, man. That whole street and the offshoots is dog shit hell, dude. There's fucking everybody's got. I mean, wouldn't you? You don't choose to live there.
There
you
are
live
areas
in the
of
East
poverty.
Bay.
There are areas of poverty.
But why are you defending it? Why are you saying that that's not a factor into the suckiness? Isn't that a factor?
I'm defending your wholesale condemnation of things that are East Bay.
There's more to it than
there
just.
There is more to it.
There is more to it. My wholesale condemnation.
Than the hood.
Much more to it. So let's just first address that first goddamn bullet. I'm gonna say no because it's more. There's more to it than just the danger thing. Yeah, but also everybody likes to live in places where they feel safe.
Absolutely.
Okay, so everyone take.
I feel that
that's like 2.5.
Pete does not. I feel that there are people that don't possess street smarts that are. A little bit more in danger.
I'm not more in danger. God damn it!
I think you are.
I think
you're naive.
Listen,
I think that people.
I think
the small
legit,
majority,
the gangsters, like I'm a big goddamn
they would pick
boy.
You off. They would
not pick me off.
They would.
I don't
see
feel
you
in
as
danger.
a puppy dog. The moment they saw you, you would be in danger.
That's just because anytime I see someone black, I start to cry and I throw money out of my pocket and I start to run.
Because they pick you off like a puppy dog.
You know what?
Anyway, so we're not here to argue about gentrification.
All right,
we're not here to argue about the hood.
So you took up your first point. Obviously, it was a misstep by you, but that's okay. You have some more time. This is not live, so if you need to like rethink some of your points or some of your actions,
absolutely not. What I would like to hear today is your reasoning behind your hatred for the East Bay.
All right, so let's go to
allow me
bullet number two. Bullet number two. I think I don't even know exactly how to put it, but I'm just going to say Berkeley in general. We'll call this bullet "fuck Berkeley." So I'm talking about the hipsters. I'm talking about the white kids who go to UCB. I'm talking about it was the birthplace of free speech, and yet it's gone exactly the opposite direction.
Welcome to the Bay Area.
That's not just the Bay Area. It's way worse in Berkeley and Oakland.
I do not agree.
Okay, tell me specifically.
I believe that all of this started
maybe San Francisco.
On the San Francisco
Berkeley,
and the peninsula.
But there are parts in San Francisco that are still okay. Now, I'm not saying who's better, San Francisco or East Bay, because that's not what this is. Because I'm moving out of this fucking place anyway. I'm not saying I love, rah San Francisco, but I am saying you motherfuckers in the East Bay need to be honest about how shitty it is. You just need to be honest about it. That's all.
What's so shitty? This is what I hear. I hear these blanket statements.
Address the bullet. Address the second goddamn bullet. The second bullet is the way that people in the Berkeley area and Oakland area are shitting on free speech and white men specifically.
I think the Berkeley area, as you noted, was the hub of the free speech, of the sex freedom revolution, of the Berkeley, counterculture, fight the man movement. I also think it was the birthplace of what we call Trustafarians.
Yes,
they are white kids who are living on their parents' dime, who need to embody Bob Marley apparently, and practice Rastafarianism just as a reason to smoke weed, honestly.
Right, and spend all their
I will say I listen to reggae, but as you can tell, I do not embody that. I do. Reggae is the music of the people. Reggae is the music of the people.
I'm gonna throw up in your mouth. No. What are you fucking talking about? First things first. We're getting off of this bullet. Bob Marley's the only salvageable artist in reggae as a whole.
That is not true. He is the figurehead of reggae and pop
He's the
culture.
best. Would you at least give me that?
I will give you that he is one of the best reggae musicians.
One of the best? What are you gonna fucking...
He is the one that brought the reggae to the masses. There are a lot of other acts. All right, so we're getting off this
I'm so glad that conservatives are on video, because I'm going to throw up in your mouth live on video. I'm going to pry open that fucking beard.
So...
There's going to be bits of my fucking... of my almond butter toast.
Oh man, he's got to throw it in. Just so you know, Pete is eating healthier than me.
I said almond butter toast. That's not healthy. Although, look at us. I'm a svelte boy.
Yes. I don't know. Berkeley is Berkeley. Berkeley is definitely its own place.
Okay, so then you can't defend that.
What can I defend?
That second bullet. That Berkeley is the shithole of political correctness in hell.
That is the entire Bay Area.
Okay,
How
but
is
it's
birthplace
worse there.
Why is it worse?
Because that's where they're at school. I mean, they're the ones who shut down, what's his face? Milo Yiannopoulos and Ann Coulter, like Ben Shapiro, they're rioting and shit. Like, that's...
But this has occurred all over the West Coast. Like, that man's tour was cut short.
I mean, but it's worse. I'm not saying that this doesn't occur in San Francisco. It doesn't occur on the peninsula. It doesn't occur in San Jose. What I'm saying is, as far as that specific bullet, Berkeley's fucking worse. It's got to be. You have to take accountability. If you're going to rep the East Bay...
No. I'm absolutely taking accountability. I don't agree with your point. I do not agree with your point that somehow Berkeley is worse in its political correctness than the rest of the Bay Area.
Who's in the news more for it?
I haven't seen an article on Berkeley forever.
What are you fucking talking about? I'm talking about specifically even those examples I brought up.
What about your restaurant that refused to serve people in MAGA hats? That wasn't in
San
Berkeley.
Mateo. All right.
You know what I mean?
Legit.
I mean, that's San
All
Mateo.
Right. Okay.
This
all
is,
right.
I mean, this is the problem. Like, the Bay Area has just been, like, become intolerant to anybody else's point of views or opinions as if they're not their own, right? Like,
okay, but they're brewing the more. San Francisco, I guarantee that motherfucker, I almost want to look it up if I wasn't using my phone. I almost want to look it up. That motherfucker, who, I guarantee he's from somewhere else. He's from San Francisco or Berkeley. The owner of Worst Hall.
That is not true. I personally know one of the owners of Worst Hall.
Where's he from?
He's responsible. He's from San Mateo, California. He's responsible for this scar on my head. He almost killed me when I was 16 years old in a snowboarding
this is
accident.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I know this.
All right, so
San Mateo born and raised. San Mateo born and raised.
Do you remember the guy's name?
I do.
Do you want to say it or you want to not say it?
No, because I believe
so
he was distancing himself from that MAGA controversy.
Okay.
I think that was one of the co-owners. Yeah.
So one of the co-owners, born and bred in San Mateo.
One of the co-owners is, yeah.
Okay. And hit you with a snowboard?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Well, it was a snowboarding accident.
Oh, okay.
He didn't mean to almost kill me.
You almost died.
Yeah, I spent 3 weeks in Stanford, intensive care. My brain was bleeding. They call that a subdural hematoma. Yeah, so.
It's like, you're a very specific boy.
Yeah,
I must say, you're a very specific man.
I mean, I'm not an expert in many things, but I have a lot of facts about a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So maybe I will say I will concede, not the point because I know I'm right, but I will concede to the fact that the rest of the Bay Area also sucks balls when it comes to political correctness. But Berkeley has got to be okay. All right, 2B, maybe we'll say 2A, 2B, or 2.5. Manhood in Oakland and Berkeley. The only men who are allowed to be men in Oakland or Berkeley are black dudes. Be fucking real. I even drive through there and I look around at just the slumped shoulders and the tuck, the Silence of the Lamb tuck that all the men are doing in Berkeley and Oakland. The only dudes who are allowed to be dudes, who are allowed to legit hit on another girl, who are allowed to legit listen to whatever, wear whatever the fuck, or say whatever the fuck they want, are black men.
Again, I don't agree with this. You are throwing out these points with absolutely no basis on it.
Okay, but do you? Okay, no, it doesn't have no base on it. It's my personal experience. Okay. So first things first.
You have no proof to you have your personal experience, the things that you've seen with your own two eyes.
Okay, tell me this.
No way
of
convincing me of this.
I'm not saying
I've had a different point.
Tell me that you have not. Tell me this. Can you wear what you wear without getting any weird looks in Berkeley specifically?
Yes.
No. Okay, maybe you could. But I'm trying to. No. That does not fucking count. I'm trying to put this in a way so that someone with a simple mindedness can understand and imbibe what I'm saying. Do you see men wearing this more often in Oakland or Berkeley? Maybe this is a bad example, but I'm saying
I think it's a bad example.
Okay. The tweed and the fucking the tweed and the winter hats in July, the fucking the stilo of a dude who's a bitch is so much more prevalent in Berkeley than it is even in San Francisco.
But you're
in San Francisco you're wearing 49ers. I'm saying this is a physical manifestation.
We just walked down the street to get coffee, and I saw tons of people wearing the exact garb that you're currently talking about. I believe you're attributing these people to the East Bay and Berkeley in particular.
No,
these people aren't even from here. And moreover,
where do you see more angry lesbians? Foul-faced. I'm real tough, even though you could break my fucking forearm with like just blowing on it. Where do you see more of those shits? Berkeley.
That is incorrect.
Angry ass females who aren't like who absolutely.
I think the social justice warriors, the people that get offended by everything,
are more
prevalent.
Thank you fucking very much. That's 2
3 neighborhoods, 3 cities in the Bay Area. You're going to find them in San Francisco, California. You're going to find them in Santa Cruz, California, and I will concede that you will find them in Berkeley, California.
Okay. You're a fucking...
No.
But not... Okay, but in San Francisco, it's nowhere near as bad. Tell me what fucking hood.
I think...
What, the Mission?
I think you view
the Mission
San Francisco with these rose-colored glasses.
No, I'm not even saying that. I fucking don't like San Francisco anymore. It's time for me to move. But I'm saying, be honest about how awful Berkeley is. Be fucking real.
I don't share your sentiment about Berkeley being awful. I think Berkeley is your typical college town with people coming in and out.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you what.
Most of them not from there.
Okay, maybe legit. But does it suck because of that reason? Even if it sucks as much as Chapel Hill, North Carolina, does it suck ass?
I like Berkeley.
Okay, but that's not an answer to the question. You may like the suck ass, but as we've already established...
I don't like the suck ass aspects of it.
Okay.
Just like right. I don't like the suck-ass aspects of everything else in the Bay Area. See, this is the thing. I'm just trying to show you that your hatred for the East Bay and you telling me these things are occurring everywhere. These are not specific.
But it's worse in some fucking areas. It's worse in Berkeley than it is everywhere else.
Not everywhere
fucking
else.
Worse.
That is incorrect.
Third point, goddammit. Third bullet.
Let's hear it. Food Max culture. You're going to talk about Food Max culture? You can talk about Food Max culture?
Everywhere else. Well, let me get my point, please, sir.
Let's hear.
Everywhere else outside of shitty-ass Oakland and Berkeley is a beige culture. It's a weird brown. It's a vibe of boringness. I'm talking Hayward. I'm talking... Fremont, I'm talking Milpitas. I'm talking because I am looping in Milpitas into your fucking
Hayward. I will agree with you. So we're talking South Bay here.
We're talking
Milpitas is
Bay.
South Bay. Milpitas is South Bay. Milpitas is technically San Jose, Sunnyvale. It's all one place.
It's so much different.
Hayward
than
is not
even
in
San Jose North.
I will give you
Milpitas
that Fremont
is some sort of hell. Absolutely.
Milpitas is.
But I'm saying Fremont, Hayward, all up 880 is just nothing strip mall. Nothing strip mall.
No. See, I will give you Fremont. I will give you Fremont.
Hayward? You're gonna defend Hayward. You won't even concede how shit ass. I'm literally
no.
How okay? What is salvageable? If California was gonna fall into the fucking ocean right now, what would you grab from Hayward?
Hayward is a decent place. I'm not saying it's the best place in the world. I'm saying Hayward.
What is it? What would you save from East?
I understand that you don't understand this. There is an East Bay vibe. There's an East Bay vibe.
No, I give you those points. Because vibe is the reason why I don't like that area. So I understand a lot more of it is vibe than it is specific things you can or cannot or list. So I get it.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling you get.
How could you? What do you think the vibe is? So like as an example, I'm describing the shit vibe as a beige Food Max. It's a weird, and then there's a whole lot of Indian people, which I like Indian people.
In Fremont.
Okay, but like there's just nothing strip mall, nothing a fucking Southland mall. You know what I mean?
Been to Southland recently? They've been remodeling it for a couple of years. Southland's pretty nice now. I'll give you that about Bayfair and San Leandro.
Is there a fucking Hot Topic in there now?
Who knows? Is there not a Hot Topic in every mall in America nowadays? If there's not a Hot Topic, there's a Spencer's. I mean,
a Hot Topic with a black guy working at it.
Equal opportunity employment, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that Nirvana T-shirt is.
Damn.
But
side note, though, I met this fucking 22-year-old coworker, and one of the other coworkers was playing. I believe he was at work.
Coworker
I'm
for
at
you?
work. Yeah, one of my coworkers, and one of the other coworkers was playing some Nirvana on his phone. I believe it smells like Teen Spirit Rape Me. One of the popular songs, and the kid was like looking at him all funny, and I asked him, "Do you know who this is?" And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "It's Nirvana. Have you ever heard of Nirvana?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I've heard of them once or twice."
Wow.
I mean, my soul died.
That's weird.
Yeah, that there's like children that don't know. Like,
how old was he?
It's like 22, 21. I mean, I feel like you at least.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, like, if it's different culture.
We're fucking doomed. You don't like the East Bay now. Wait till these fucking millennials show up. Anyway.
I feel like eventually there's going to be a swarm of San Franciscoites, whatever, who are going to move. I mean,
it's already started.
You're already one
who
was born and bred in San Mateo and moved out to the East Bay.
Correct.
So you already know you're part of the wave. But I mean, like, all right, as far as specifically Hayward, you think the only thing that you can mention, that you can list that is salvageable is the vibe.
So what I look for when I like a place, yes, Mr. is the vibe.
Sandwich shops?
No, Mr. Pickles is all right. San Mateo, California, first location ever. Now they're all over the Bay Area. Anyway, yeah. Tom Brady probably ate them. They were right up the street from his high school.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I like Ike's, though.
Yeah, I mean, Ike's is cool when you just want, like, a ridiculous fucking sandwich.
It is
weird. You know? It's just like, yeah, I mean, that's
fried
cool.
chicken.
I'm down to get a kryptonite with, like, jalapeno poppers and mozzie sticks on my sandwich.
Mozzie sticks.
You know what I mean?
Is that how it's called on the menu, mozzie sticks? Or is that
no,
that's just your
that's
name
what mozzarella sticks are called.
You're a
mozzie sticks.
You're
a
horrible person.
Right. Well, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Ike's is decent for a completely gluttonous, overpriced, $20 sandwich. Yeah.
Anyway,
get me like again. Anyway.
So you're saying...
But, I mean, and then this is the problem with, like all these transplants into San Francisco and the peninsula is, like, where have all the real people gone? Where has like the personality and like your average Joe gone? You know,
that is legit.
I mean, when
that's
your
happening
average
everywhere
home
in the
price
Bay, except San Jose. San Jose still has like a hanger-on of a personality, and maybe a shit personality in some areas.
I'm so angry right now. I'm sorry because I know our friend. I don't know. He's been on episode 2. Our friend, whatever.
Jake.
Our friend Jake, as I'm allowed to say that, thinks that San Jose is the greatest place in the world. I have to say,
I don't think he
San Jose is embodies this beige culture that you talk about.
I can't disagree with you.
It has no personality. I don't hate it. I just like, what's special about it?
Everywhere except the Blossom Hill area. I'm sorry, but Blossom Hill is the shit, dude. Southern San Jose. Come on, give me a fucking Snell. Give me fucking Cottle Road, son. There's some weird vibe. There's it's right up against the mountain. It's like far enough away from the look you're giving me.
I avoid San Jose at all costs. Okay. Unless I have an absolute definite reason to go there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's legit. The downtown is like 2 blocks long. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Including all that fucking HP Pavilion or whatever it's called now, SAP Center or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a weird fucking town.
Just basically once you get south of Menlo Park, once you get south of Palo Alto, it's just basically all one city. I mean, Santa Clara, Sunnyvale, San Jose, Milpitas, Morgan Hill. It's all the same.
Milpitas is
it's got no personality.
It's the worst. I guarantee. I'm putting Milpitas down at the bottom, like below even Hayward or Niles. Niles isn't that bad. I don't know.
Niles is nice.
Yeah, it's up in the hills there a little bit.
It's a nice river.
But
swimming holes.
I wouldn't touch a drop of water that was from fucking Nile. But but again, you have not told me specifically what is salvageable about Hayward.
I don't know.
I like just Hayward. Vibe. It's just vibe.
What's that?
It's just vibe.
I had friends that lived there. I slept on their couches for, long periods of time. Right. Technically not a Hayward resident, but right. I like Hayward. Hayward is a community. Hayward has, real people, blue collar, working class people, and I feel like that's starting to go out the window more and more. And even as I see, I'm now in the greater, farther East Bay, out in Contra Costa County, but
right.
You just see these droves of these soulless tech people, and they're just coming. Yeah, I mean. Sure. I got, vocabulary.
You get that vocabulary.
I do. Yeah, I mean...
Hang on 1 second. Let it...
Yeah.
All right, just start.
Is it catching up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Fremont will give you like, you know, what's great about Fremont. There's some bomb Indian spots. There's some good places to eat. As far as culture or anything, you know, special about it.
Right. There's a fucking really Toyota dealership, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a few. Okay,
I mean, it's
so the definition of suburbia.
Okay, but even worse than suburbia, because it also has. It's just that there's a heat. There's a hotness mixed with like the smelliness of all that. Like if you come off 84 into Fremont, there's that weird salty sulfur smell, and then there's nothing.
Marsh. That's naturally occurring.
There's no reason to go to Fremont or Hayward, in my personal opinion. Now there are reasons to go to Oakland or Berkeley, and I have to for shows or to record with certain guests or blah 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 blah. I'll go whatever the fuck. But, and I love John, our friend John, so I go out there. But like outside of that, I literally drive into the East Bay and I'm just like, ugh, I just feel this weird taste in my mouth. There's a vibe.
That's the same feeling that I get when I cross the San Mateo Bridge to come back to the peninsula.
Okay. All right. So
I
now
think some of this is a matter of preference. I think
maybe what
you're looking for, maybe.
Well, I just wish people. Different. I wish people. The main thing is that my fight is for honesty. I just wish those motherfuckers, those like I was saying, those white motherfuckers who make believe that it's not dangerous here. I got shot. Oh, okay, I just walked to the hospital where we should all get free healthcare. There's like there's a dishonesty to that whole area. Just say that it sucks. You know, it just feels like a U-Haul, like a Food Max, like a you don't
There's
feel
not
that?
Even a
You don't
Food Max
feel
anywhere
that?
near there.
Okay, but you understand what it's a TJ Maxx even. Fucking it's like the East Bay feels like a Ross.
How so?
It just feels like no one's happy to be there. No one's happy to be there.
No way.
Everyone's just like, can I help you? I'll take it next. Like, that's what it just feels.
Oh, no. To the contrary. I mean, my experience has been different with that. I feel that, like I said, you get personality out of people. You get it. I mean, one thing about San Francisco, like, people from, like, the Sunset and, like, Excelsior are just, like, so fucking proud to be where they're from.
Absolutely.
And that's what I get with every city in the East Bay.
Okay.
Every city in the East Bay, like, these people, like, it could be...
But there's a reason
special, like
for
Hayward,
someone in the Sunset to rep the Sunset. There's no reason.
Why?
Because
What's in the Sunset?
At least, I mean, look at how beautiful it is.
It's blocks and blocks of fucking copycat housing. It's tract homes before tract homes.
Don't talk
existed.
shit about the outbound, dude. They listen to the show.
No, I mean, I'm completely fine with it. I'm giving them props. I'm telling them, like, I respect the fact that even though the city is crumbling behind them, they're fucking still down.
And they can get into downtown
Excelsior.
San Francisco in 2 fucking seconds. Okay, they can get to the real beach, not fucking anywhere. I mean, the only salvageable thing on the coast in the East Bay is oh god damn it, Isla. What's that? There's like a dog park in Richmond.
Yeah.
Like over. It's fucking gorgeous over there.
That's a good dog park.
Isla something or island, whatever. Anyway.
I think you're butchering it, but okay.
You know what?
It's Point Richmond. I know what you're talking about.
So in that area is cool.
Yes.
Outside of that, the only like real place that's next to water is on the peninsula. It's in San Francisco. That's part of the benefit is the fact that you're into downtown. You're at the ocean. It's gorgeous. The hills, all that stuff. The weather, although it's kind of foggy and shitty, at least like it's kind of foggy and like you get a mix of shit. It's not just this weird. All right.
Have you been to
point number what? 5, 4? Where are we at now?
Who knows?
Hippies. Of course hippies exist in San Francisco. Of course hippies exist all over the Bay Area.
This is where they started.
Santa Cruz. Absolutely. But in Berkeley, you cannot be a bitch between 18 and 35, especially white girls, and not have a mason jar that you drink out of. Have you fucking noticed that? All you motherfuckers smell like B.O. mixed with patchouli mixed with fucking mason jars.
I fucking hate patchouli oil. I fucking hate patchouli oil. I will give you that.
And it's so much more prevalent because we're talking about prevalence alone. These motherfuckers, that's where they go to East Bay and they come on, you can't, come on. Everybody has fucking mason jars as far as the eye can see. They're composting. You cocksuckers with your composting.
What's wrong
fucking
with
vegans
taking
as far
care
as
of the environment?
Fuck the environment. At the sake of your personality, there's a
I mean, I agree.
There's a snootiness that, of course, you get in San Francisco. Of course, you get on the peninsula. There's a snootiness from money, right?
Now.
But I honestly would rather have that. I would rather have the snootiness of goddamn Los Gatos than I would the snootiness of, because at least those motherfuckers are legit. We're better than you. In the East Bay, it's a we're better than you, but we're gonna make believe and use inclusive language that we're better than you. You know what I mean? It's a we're better than you because we care more. It's a browbeating from morality standpoint. That's where they have fucking mason jars, because they care and they're all trying to fit in. When I would go to shows in Berkeley or Oakland, sometimes I'm on a set with a bunch of different musicians, and everyone's just making believe that they're not trying to make it. Everyone's just making believe that they're not high school too, that they're not trying to get laid and get money and make it just like everybody else. Everyone's just like, I'm singing songs about this breakup and I'm singing songs about how much I love the earth. Fuck off. Be honest about what you want.
I completely agree with your point about the style of people.
Yes.
But I still have not seen them exclusively in the East Bay. I haven't seen a majority of them in the East Bay. And that's what I mean. I think you're looking for
not Gus's Market. What's that fucking Berkeley Bowl? Come
Berkeley
on,
Bowl?
dude. That whole area, Berkeley Bowl. Everyone who lives near Berkeley Bowl is just a weird...
It's just such a blanket statement.
Yeah, it's a generalization. Of course there are exceptions to motherfuckers. But that whole vibe, that morality standpoint.
I will never knock someone for doing something that they believe they're doing for the right reasons. I eat a shitload of meat. Being in the veterinary field, I work with a lot of fucking vegans.
Absolutely.
Some of them just believe they're helping the earth and all that, and God bless them. But don't try to tell me that I need to be a fucking vegan.
Exactly.
Okay.
And in fucking Berkeley, especially in the Berkeley Bowl, like
this is Berkeley hatred. Pete hates Berkeley.
Fucking hate Berkeley. Absolutely.
Oh man.
You cannot tell me that shit is not more prevalent over there.
I can't.
I don't know why I'm
because
clapping
I don't
like a
see it. I don't
girl
know.
on
It's
Twitter.
like a seal. Or
You do not get to talk about
wind
this.
up monkey with his little fucking symbols. Yeah.
God, I love having a podcast.
Pretty
oh my
cool.
God, it's so much fun.
But yeah, fun? I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. I just don't seem to see that in the East Bay more prevalently. I seem to think that's like, I mean, San Francisco embodies that culture. I come here and the fucking...
What part of San Francisco? You're not talking downtown. You're talking about Mission, maybe Valencia. But outside of Valencia
neighborhoods
Street,
have been fucking perverted into this fucking tech millennial
but you
culture.
also
and
have,
those are the worst people. The fucking tech people
legit,
that are fucking vegans.
Legit. I will.
And they're drinking kombucha. Ironically, they're carrying around their fucking yoga mats in their sling bags.
It's hippies with money. That's the difference. Absolutely,
yeah, I
can see that is awful.
Fucking yuppies.
That is awful.
Yeah,
but I will. I mean, you have to fucking.
I don't have to.
What's nice about the hippies around here is that they get cut with gay. There's enough gay culture to laugh at it, to laugh at themselves. You can go into a shitty little place and be like, this fucking sucks. But at least you go outside and there's funniness. There's the gay culture is still prevalent here. This is still the gay mecca, and so there's enough of like a good mix of culture. Over there, you don't get. I mean, yes, of course there's a lot of gay people, but it doesn't cut the same way. It doesn't give you relief from that. Like the money actually helps. It's dishonest, sure, absolutely, but the money helps people not morally browbeat. I think I'd rather be money browbeaten than morally browbeaten.
I just don't want to be browbeaten.
Me neither.
Why can't everyone just live their fucking lives?
Well, it's not going to happen anywhere.
Well,
I mean, if you go to fucking Mississippi or some of the, you'll be browbeaten in a different way. You'll be browbeaten for not going to the right church. You'll be browbeaten for being gay. You'll be browbeaten whatever. I'd rather have it come from a point of someone being a condescending prick monetarily than a condescending prick morally, because at least because the moral person actually thinks they're doing the right thing.
But this is not exclusive to the East Bay. In fact, the people
prevalent.
that are in the East Bay came from here. Why do you think they're in fucking Oakland? Why do you think they're in West Oakland? Why do you think they're in there? Because they can't afford to fucking live here anymore and drink their fair trade coffee. And
no, so in West Oakland specifically, those dudes are from fucking West Oakland.
I mean, there's the ghetto, there's the fixie guys and the fucking, the former gutter punks who are a little old now, so they can't live on the street anymore. There's a couple. There's an aspect of that.
Yes.
My whole point is none of these people. I think 90% of what we hate about the current state of the Bay Area are fucking people that came from elsewhere that are trying to fucking embody this West Coast California life, and they're fucking trying a little too hard. And I think that's the reality.
But I feel like everybody who lives there, maybe not who lives there. I feel like there's enough. Maybe this is 0.6, and then we'll move on to other shit. Because I'm fucking, I can't keep winning like this. It's just it's unfair.
I mean, we'll
it's
leave
unfair
that
to you, really. I mean, you're my guest. I should be like letting you. But there is more of that, and I think part of the reason why, and I think you're the exception. I think you genuinely believe that. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you genuinely believe that the East Bay is a good place. But those motherfuckers, those same white motherfuckers who are doing that, anytime I hear, okay, so for instance, I gotta take a swig of water. Every Rage Against the Machine song is about Los Angeles. Every Red Hot Chili Pepper song is about Los Angeles and how much of a melting pot and how they love it and they love it. Anytime you hear somebody say over and over, I love this place, they're trying to talk themselves into it. They're trying to build up value in their own head. And the same thing fucking goes for Oakland and Berkeley specifically.
I think people attach their identity to where they live.
And that happens a lot. Now,
it's not pride, it's their identity.
Okay, maybe. Now, maybe my overarching point, because you do make some good points, my overarching point is not that the rest of the Bay is wonderful, but just that I don't hear anybody repping the fucking peninsula. I don't hear anybody repping San Jose. But I hear a lot of y'all fucking big mouth motherfuckers, not you necessarily, but a lot of motherfuckers when I go over there talking about how wonderful the East Bay is and how great Berkeley is and how they're repping it. And because I want some fucking honesty. That's all.
I mean, maybe some of these people are from here and they can no longer afford to live where they...
Then say that. Well, I hate this place, but I can't afford to live anywhere else. Don't say, oh, this is just this is my dream. I love Oakland. Fuck that shit.
Oakland is a lovable place. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were times... few years ago, we went to a concert at the Fox Theater. I wanted to go get a Gatorade after the show. I was a little thirsty. And I went to walk around downtown Oakland. It's fucking 10:45 at night and not a business is open. Shut down. Right? Fast forward 2 years later, I did the same thing, but all of a sudden there's white people riding their bikes around and stores are open and all that kind of stuff. I mean, shit changes, Like, I just simply think that, like, if you're not trying to do it out of ego, if you're not trying to force people to, I don't know, like, fucking buy into this, like, hipsterism and how you're so fucking special. I think the act is the part that I don't like. I agree with you on some of the points of, like, I don't like these people moving in, and completely changing. I think at its base, gentrification is a good idea. The problem is once it's started, it has no way of stopping it. It ends up forcing the people who grew up in those neighborhoods, who lived there, who built, the culture in those neighborhoods, and they have to move elsewhere, And
as far as to the point of gentrification, there's a specific, this immediate thought that I have is, okay, but you did the best you could, and you've had the outcome that you've had.
Are you talking about me personally, or just in the general?
I'm talking gentrification.
Okay.
Say at certain points, there's like, okay, it's good. Maybe it gets a little crazy, but it's like, okay, but you've been in charge of West Oakland so far, and look at what a fucking shithole it is. Give someone else some room. Like as far as West Oakland specifically, all down International or MLK or whatever, like, what? It's like all you need is money, and then you're gonna do better. you didn't do better. You chose not a lot of those motherfuckers, not all, but a good amount of them have grow up there and been influenced by another. Like, you've done whatever you've done with the fucking West Oakland. Give someone else some fucking room to try it out and see if they do a better job. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because at least they have coffee. You try to get a coffee in West Oakland, fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, not to get into the whole, larger picture of things, but
you can. I'm half Puerto Rican.
There's a different. No. I'm in here defending this. I mean, let's be honest. Right. These are forgotten neighborhoods. Like,
for sure,
this wasn't all. Oakland was the working class, area.
Right.
Unfortunately, it has become a very poor, destitute area, and there are areas in there where it's not the safest area to drive around.
Right.
I don't think blaming those people for the conditions of, their neighborhood is necessarily 100% on them.
I'm not saying
Oakland's
it is.
Been a complete, problem for years. Their police department is understaffed and broke.
Right.
The city as a whole, is finally starting to get a little money in there. And I think we're at that point right now where Oakland is kind of getting a little bit better, but there's no doubt in my mind that that's going to continue to go. It's going to continue to get better. Housing's going to get more expensive. Right. And then these people who've lived in these neighborhoods for years, grandma's going to have to sell her house that she's had.
Right. And that's legit. But I also think, again, going to the honesty point, those little white hipsters with daddy's money who get, and a lot of you females are like, I'm a little white hipster. I don't live off my dad. Really? Are you on your dad's health insurance? Are you on a fucking family plan, bitch? Don't tell me about fucking self-support. But I would say, just be honest about it. Don't rail against socially on Facebook. Don't rail against gentrification and yet be doing fucking gentrification. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, be honest about, this place is your shithole, or I actually can't afford to live anywhere else, so I'm choosing, this is my best option. Mm-hmm. I'm not against someone going for the best. I'm against the idea that, this is my dream. I love it. I love it here. I love vegans and fucking everyone taking themselves too seriously. Like, I love this place. Like, be honest about it. That's all.
Isn't it basically like everyone wants to kind of feel like they belong to something? And I just feel like, these people moving in there and trying to create a neighborhood around them where they're comfortable, they like their neighborhood, they have their coffee shops and their restaurants and their taqueria that they go to and all that kind of stuff. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't understand with people, moving somewhere and having pride with something. Like, I'm not from the East Bay. The places that I've been in the East Bay, I tend to like, but at the end of the day, like, I just don't want to have to fucking struggle. I want to be able to live somewhere. I want to know the people in my neighborhood. And I think, I don't know. I've traveled a lot in this country. It seems to be a problem mainly on the coasts, which tend to be, cost a lot more money to live. Right. But the personality from everything is just getting removed. Like, everyone is so focused on working. Like, I don't have time to enjoy my neighborhood because I'm working, 8 to 12 hours a day. I'm coming home, I'm beat, and that's what I kind of like about where I'm living now is it's a small community, Like, I live in Martinez. Its borders are hard cut. It's surrounded by cities and water.
Martinez,
it's not going to get any bigger. The downtown.
That's over by the CH factory, right? That sugar factory.
That's Crockett. So if you go a little bit east of there.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. So it is right along the Delta, right there.
Over by the Shell.
The refineries. A lot of those refineries are right in there, right. And but like, they're revitalizing the downtown. We can go down there on the weekends. We can find a parking space. There's little, coffee shops that aren't strictly Starbucks and Pete's. And I think that's like one of the things that's drawing people to the East Bay. And I don't blame them for it. Like, we just want community. I mean, that's why, initially, like, I wanted like to go to the East Bay, and I ended up moving out there, to move in with my girlfriend. But like, that's what I want. I want a community. I want somewhere where I feel, a part of, where on the peninsula, I just feel it's this monotonous, like, I mean, talk about strip malls. The entire, El Camino Real is now condos and strip malls. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's legit.
And that's why I just tend to like the East Bay because, one, I don't have to wait fucking 2 hours to get into a decent restaurant. Like, the food's everywhere. I mean, San Francisco's got some great restaurants, right? Like, I don't want to wait, like stand in line with all the other freaking people to try to get some, food, like at all these places they can't afford to live here anymore. Right. Yeah.
No, and again, I don't hate it. I'm just saying, like, number one, be honest about it, which I feel like you are, and number two, it's the either gangster danger, or, which is annoying in its own way, and it's maybe honest, but it's still annoying. Mm-hmm. Or the hipster, the hippies, they're just bad people. You can't.
The two extremes.
The two extremes. Right. Where I feel like it's a little more watered down with some sports in San Francisco, at least in the Sunset, or sports and gays.
I mean, they love.
It's a little more watered down with sports.
Their neighborhood, and man. They love their neighborhood, and I respect that, man. I respect that. Right. Like, yeah.
You want? I gotta piss.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's take a quick break.
All right, we're gonna pee in the same toilet, and we'll be right back.
Negative. Should I turn this on?
Yeah, he's
coming around again. I just saw.
Is he really?
Yeah.
All right. Point number 2.
I think you're a little behind. I think we were on 6 when you last.
Well, no, we don't need to talk about more East Bay. I wanted to ask about animal stuff. How long have you been working with animals?
I've been working with animals for coming up on 10 years now.
And what was your initial goal of working at it? And what do you do?
So right now I'm what's called a veterinary assistant.
Like a vet tech?
No, so a vet tech is someone who has been to school. They are registered through the state of California. They're allowed to do a bit more than I can. I know you had a vet tech on one of your earlier episodes with Trinity. Yeah, so
we talked about Ozpenis.
What's that?
Ozpenis.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a step below that.
Right.
So basically the difference between like a nurse and a registered nurse is the difference between a vet assistant and a vet tech.
I didn't even know there was a goddamn difference between a registered nurse and a nurse.
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
To have
in the animal world, everything's kind of combined. So in the human world, you have radiologists and you have, what is there? X-ray, no. You have specialized people in each aspect of the hospital, and the animal world, it's kind of all combined. So, we take X-rays, we do, surgeries, monitor the animals on surgeries. So.
Okay, so what's the, because you were talking about, you work currently, if you're willing to talk about
it,
you work currently at a shelter.
Yeah, I work at a county animal shelter.
Have you always worked at a county animal shelter?
No, so I started, I've always kind of wanted to work with animals, as a kid, and a friend of ours got me a job working at a veterinary hospital, just your normal, couple of doctor practice, and I kind of started in the kennels there just when people went on vacation, and just kind of absorbed knowledge, as I went along, and so when I moved out to the East Bay, I ended up getting a job at a county animal shelter out there, which is, as you can imagine, it's a lot different from working from a private vet where, people are paying for their animal care. Here we are having a lot of stray dogs come in, especially from the, poorer aspects of our county. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of spaying and neutering, and then...
Are you hands-on with that, or are you...
Yeah, so we will... there's always someone monitoring the animals as the doctor's doing the surgeries. You need to be inside the surgery suite with them, making sure that their, oxygen levels and their heart rate and all that are staying stable. Basically keeping them alive while they're under anesthesia.
Do you also assist in euthanasia?
Every once in a while, I do. I've been trained in how to... in that aspect of it, there's doctors usually do it. We're what's known as a no-kill shelter, so we really don't euthanize anything unless it's suffering to the point where it's not going to be fixable. Some hit by car cases and things like that. So it's one of the sadder aspects of the job. More rewarding in some ways, working with, animals that don't really have owners and stuff.
Right.
So we do euthanasias from time to time, but usually for the irremediably suffering animals, and then every once in a while for, aggressive cases and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you, as far as having an opinion about it, I remember we were kind of talking about it earlier today, when it comes to a no-kill, even though you want to be not humanitarian, you want to be humane. Yeah, you want to make sure that everybody gets a shot. You know, you love dogs, you love cats, you love whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at a certain point, what are the drawbacks of not having a no-kill shelter?
So, I mean, just really quickly, there's a few different kinds of shelters. There's your county animal shelter, which is what I currently do. Those are the people that are legally mandated to take in any stray dogs in the county. When anything that doesn't have an owner comes in, you legally have to house that animal if it's a dog, especially.
Could someone bring a stray dog that they found on the street to an ASPCA?
So that's the other thing. There's a difference between SPCA and ASPCA. ASPCA is those commercials that you see with Sarah McLachlan, the sad ones.
Right.
They actually rarely have shelters. They're more of a charity in the in the sense.
Right.
The SPCA are what we call private shelters. So they're not legally mandated to take animals in. They get to pick and choose which animals that they can take.
Okay.
So that's the difference between a county animal shelter and an SPCA.
They're all privately funded.
They're privately funded. They're usually done by donations.
Okay.
Wealthier people donate
right.
to them. The county shelters are taken out of tax dollars. So per resident, every county pays, or every city in the county pays the animal shelter to fund, take the stray animals for animal control officers to respond to bite, reports and all that kind of stuff. And then there's rescues. Rescues are basically, those little organizations. They go to the shelter. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. There's a lot of really big ones in the Bay Area, but a lot of them are breed specific. So they'll go around to all the shelters, and the Golden Retriever Rescue will pull the Golden Retrievers. So, there's a lot more politics involved in the county animal shelter.
How often do you guys get political pressure to stay a no-kill? How long have you been a no-kill?
So the no-kill started before I got there. I believe a year or two before I got there, from what I've heard. And no-kill basically means that, you don't euthanize anything for space reasons, it's not like we're overloaded. We need to kill this animal because we don't have room for it. We do not do that. Basically, we work with the SPCAs, we work with the rescues, and we try to transfer these animals out as well as adopt them to private parties wanting to look for a new pet.
Especially the ones that are less aggressive or less crazy.
And we have a whole behavior team that kind of tries to desensitize the dogs. A lot of animals don't do well once you start putting them in a kennel. We have volunteers that come in and they walk the dogs off the property and stuff like that. So we do our best with the funding that we're provided to kind of,
How successful is that normally?
Successful as far as what is the behavior?
Yeah.
The behavior stuff. The team that's working with them right now is extremely successful. They've gotten animals that were completely standoffish and had to be brought in on, a rabies pole, and they were snarling and biting to the point where they were like trustworthy animals. I mean, 90% of the aggression is just fear. So you got to take your time with the animals and stuff. But it's hard. I mean, there's a lot of public pressure coming as far as the no-kill thing. Obviously, everyone that works in the career, did that because they love animals. So they want to see every animal make it. It's not always a reality for every single animal, but I think most of the shelters, especially, in areas where there's a lot of, enough money to fund that, are no-kill in California. I know there's some in the Central Valley and stuff like that for whatever reason, whether it's, money reasons or not, they do euthanize at a high rate. But
do you feel, maybe this is a weird question, but do you feel like it's almost kind of more humane, or a certain version of humane to put a I almost said a kid down, to put a pet down, an animal down, if there isn't room, like, because you only have a certain amount of you're probably always running at like an 85% fill, like where you're trying to just get these animals out of there as soon as you can, because you've got a constant influx.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you put like a couple to a cage, or like, what does it normally look like?
Yeah, like a lot of the smaller dogs end up, I mean, they're large runs. They're not tiny little like cages that they're getting shoved in, but yeah, they have large runs. So the smaller dogs end up 3 or 4 to a pretty large, like 6 foot by 3 foot cage. And then like I said, like they work with the transfer partners and the rescues and stuff to try to get these dogs, out to other places. We did actually just fly a bunch of dogs up to Idaho. The shelters up there are not as overloaded as they are in California. So they put
also
a bunch of dogs.
Tax, that's tax dime too, huh?
What's that?
That's tax dime too, huh?
I don't know. I don't know who funds that, but yeah, I know they do ship them to other places where they don't have as many animals, where they can, kind of free up space in our shelter, and then hopefully provide homes for these animals. Apparently, when they do go up to Idaho, like all these dogs get adopted very, very quickly. So that's a cool aspect of it. But as far as like humane to euthanize for space, I mean, being an animal lover, I'm completely against euthanizing any sort of healthy animal.
Sure.
There are animals that mentally deteriorate in the shelter environment. Sometimes that is...
Or before then, right?
What's that?
Or before then, like being on the streets and shit.
Yeah, or before then, Yeah, definitely. I
just mean like in an ideal world, obviously you'd have all the money you need and you'd have all the space you need.
Yeah.
But you don't. You know what I mean? So I would feel almost weirdly conflicted. Like there's human like guilt. I was just talking about it because my grandma passed away, and I was talking about how is there sometimes a guilt where you're trying to hang on for this person, and you're like, and they're like hanging on, and they're whatever, but they're kind of ready to go, and you're telling them that you're ready, you can go anytime, but you're also spending so much time and effort, and it's so overwhelming to care for them. There's like at a certain point there's a weird, maybe small, maybe big, but there's a thing underneath there where you're like, if this could just be over. Like where there's a guilt where you're like, even though, you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, like, is there a piece of you that feels like once all of your resources as a county shelter, as a no-kill shelter has been used up, that a piece of you feels like, well there's nothing we can do. The more all we have to do is kind of,
to euthanize. Yeah. I mean, there are certain cases on that. Like there are, animals. Ironically enough, I experienced that more when I was working for a private veterinary hospital and in a more affluent neighborhood, because money was never an option for those people. They had all the money to do everything they possibly could for their pet. Right. But, when you got a 15-year-old dog that has a liver mass, like maybe it's time to let the dog go. It's a little old, putting it under anesthesia for surgery. They might not survive the surgery, right. But I mean, in the county shelter, unfortunately, the ones that are suffering, but it's surprising how like resilient animals are. That you have an animal that you're like, oh, the pelvis is completely fractured. Like, how are we going to deal with this? Not having all the money at our disposal, but just being able to get them comfortable with pain meds and all that kind of stuff. And they end up, healing a lot on their own, or if so, I know we partner with UC Davis a bunch. So if there are specialty surgeries that need to happen, then they sometimes will go up there. But I think like the best thing that people don't really realize is they just don't think about like the long-term consequences to their, not spaying and neutering their pets, and we see that on a daily basis where, we do low cost spaying and neutering, because I mean, some of the veterinary hospitals, it can cost you for a big dog, like, $500-$600 to get your dog fixed, and so not only are we looking at, now we're reducing the population, there's less stray dogs, but there's a lot of other consequences that can come with not fixing your animals.
Do you feel like it's getting better? Do you feel like it's more? I mean, because I remember Bob Barker talking about it.
Yeah, totally.
I remember, I remember skipping school and hearing spay and neuter your pets. So, like, do you feel like it's getting better?
I feel like it is as a whole. I think, there's definitely those people that, it's my dog. Like, he doesn't need to get his nuts cut off, like, that's not cool. And, like, how are we going to convince them, or the person that's like, well, I want to breed my dog and then I can make I can make some money off the puppies. But you don't think about, like, what happens if your dog has 5 puppies and you sell 3 of them. Right. What are you going to do with those other 2? Then they stop being so cute and you can't, sell them for $200 anymore.
Right.
What's going to happen? They're going to end up in our shelter, and
right.
So
that whole, like, I just had the thought, like, maybe one of those ideas of like, well, I don't want to cut my dog's nuts off. That's not how it is in nature.
Yeah.
It's not also, it's not natural.
Yeah.
Them living with you.
Yeah.
Like you walking them on a leash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's definitely aspects of that where it's just like, people just like, but the reality is, males that are unneutered tend to get testicular cancer and things like that at a lot higher rate. So if they were in the wild,
right,
that's going to happen anyway, and they're going to die a lot quicker. But they don't have medical care, so they're going to suffer, or for whatever reason. Like, and that's the thing. Like, that's the other thing is, like, as much of an animal lover as I am, like, are we going to let, like, natural selection kind of take its course, right? Like, there's just certain things that we spend so much money into trying to save. Where is it like, is this animal really going to be able to survive this? Especially, California, we have a lot of feral cats, and like it's just this constant struggle to kind of trap them and fix them and get them so they're not going to procreate. Because I mean, a given cat can, have 6 kittens multiple times a year. There's no real breeding season for them. They can breed all year round.
Is there a breeding season for dog?
What's that? There tends to be more, along the traditional rules of the animal kingdom. I mean, technically they could get pregnant, but I mean, cats can get pregnant by one male while they're already pregnant by another male. So it's a pretty trippy,
fucking
situation.
Jesus, that's insane.
Yeah, so
wear condoms, kids.
Yeah. I mean, if only. So
I'm just kidding. Don't wear condoms.
Please do. Pizza.
Yeah, but it feels so bad. It's just like I've fucked non-human things before. I'd rather fuck a human thing.
Whoa.
Listen, I'm just being honest.
Would you care to elaborate?
I fucked. I just mean like it's an inanimate object.
I don't want to know about
on my penis.
Okay.
I would rather. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. I don't want to hear about bestiality.
Vaginas feel better. No, I'm talking about fucking.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, your vacuum cleaner and stuff like
that. No, I'm saying the feeling of a condom is different from the feeling of a vagina.
Okay. I concur.
God damn it. All right, a couple more minutes. Is it emotionally draining? Is it emotionally overwhelming? And what aspects are more? Is it? I mean, you love animals. There are some people who are built, as an example, for hospice care.
Yeah.
They're present, and they're obviously it can be overwhelming, but they're meant for it. Yeah. I will never be an accountant. You know what I mean? Like there are some people who are built for certain things.
Absolutely.
So, do you feel like what aspects of your job are the most emotionally draining and overwhelming?
I mean, obviously the euthanasia, I don't know, like I've always been one of those people that can kind of put it in a realistic aspect of just like, the euthanasia so the animal's not suffering anymore, like, it sucks that these animals are being kept in a shelter and they just want homes, but then you see that dog go home with somebody that's like, I don't care what medical problems they have, I'm willing to take care of it, and so that kind of makes up for it at the end of the day. There is this thing called like compassion fatigue, and it's like definitely in the veterinary community and, even the human medical community. I'm sure the people with hospice care, like some of those people need to talk to people, therapy and stuff like that to deal with that. I've personally been able to pretty much, be able to disconnect from that. I mean, obviously there are some sad cases where, you end up thinking about it a little more, at the end of the day. But for the most part, I mean, if you're constantly, taking stuff home, like it's gonna kill you. It's just gonna eat at you and eat at you and eat at you. And right. So I don't know. I feel like most of the people that are drawn to, especially like shelter work, kind of have that capability to just kind of see things for what they are, like, and it's definitely not like a majority of bad stuff, like there is a lot of good stuff you see, but some of those cases do kind of make you think about it, a little more. But yeah, the euthanasia is hard, any of the animals that come in injured, and just, the initial time that it's going to take for them to feel better, can weigh on you, but yeah, you just kind of got to learn to just be able to separate it at the end of the day. Like, you did the best that you possibly could, so.
Do you ever have a time where you have a feeling, or that whoever is adopting this animal is a piece of shit?
They usually do pretty good screenings with that. Like, they do talk to people before that, and it's not like a definite thing.
Well, it's probably less, obviously, like breeders who are looking for a shelter dog, right?
Yeah, well, every animal that leaves the facility gets spayed or neutered before it leaves. So that's the thing, is like someone comes to adopt the animal, and if it's not already fixed, then we fix it before it goes home. It gets a microchip, it gets vaccinated. So there's pretty much no breeders that are going to come, to us. You know, it's just like how to stop the kind of backyard breeders, the people that want to make the money off of it and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, there are definitely like responsible breeders out there that, are not contributing to the amount of stray dogs. But for every, one of those, there's probably 5, backyard breeders that just want to make a quick buck off a couple of, whatever, pit bull puppies, German shepherds, the trendy dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Pit bulls are on the rise. Obviously, you have one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is there, I remember 15 years ago, or whenever the beginning of MySpace was, there was always, and there still are a lot of like, I only hear good memes or see good memes about how wonderful pit bulls are.
Yeah.
Like, is it still a stigma thing? Because I don't think it is. Not in the Bay Area anyway.
It really, yeah, it's trippy. Like they are becoming more and more accepted. There's a lot of you see like families adopting the dogs and stuff like that. But you still do get those looks. I'm not a huge fan of dog parks for, behavioral reasons. It's just a bad idea to, put 100 people together in one place, and some of them are bound to not get along, right? Yeah. So, but like, when my dog was a puppy, just bringing him to the dog parks, like people would just leave, like you do get those side-eye looks, you do see the people that you're walking down the street and then all of a sudden they walk the opposite way. And I think that is just because of the stigma and the reputation pit bulls have. And
do you feel like some of it is earned?
Some of it is earned. Obviously things had to happen for people to be scared of pit bulls. Like the reality is they're terriers, and terriers are game dogs. Small cats, small dogs running, they want to go after it. It's almost like their second nature to do it. So you have to spend work, to actually like train that out of your dog. Like my dog, loves small dogs, but you also have to look at like the caliber of people that have notably wanted to own those kind of dogs. And it's always been some sort of breed, whether it's the Doberman or the German Shepherd or the Rottweiler or the Pit Bull. Like, it's always some tough guy breed, right? And those dogs are never socialized. They're usually shoved in a backyard. And then what happens? It gets out one day and it sees a little dog running down the street, and that's shitty. That sucks to see that happen. But
anytime you see the collar that's a chain,
yeah, I know,
it's a bad it's a bad sign.
Or the big old spiky thick collar, it just so it is like a caliber. But I think people are being responsible. Like, they are great dogs. They're great with children. They're just very like lovable family dogs. But there is training you have to put in. It's not a lab where you just get it and it's a puppy and it's going to be, a free-willed puppy for the rest of its life and never, and you're just seeing it more and more with breeds, with the people wanting certain dogs. Like I've seen it where, certain dogs are just like, one generation of them are happy and friendly, and then, like the next generation of them, the new puppies are becoming more neurotic because you know, that's the trendy dog, so everyone wants them. It's Frenchies right now, you know, like everyone wants a Frenchie, you know, and anytime a movie comes out, like whatever it is, whether it's 101 Dalmatians or like everybody wants that dog. And so they get overbred, they develop. So yeah, but, you know, the thing with pit bulls is it is just this kind of like, you know, it's this social, you know, like crucifixion of pit bulls, right? Like they're fighting dogs, like, you know, that's, you know, what a lot of people used them for. But, you know, there's been studies, there's a great, you know, movie called like Beyond the Myth, and there's a lady with her doctorate and she's talking about, you know, news reports with dog attacks. And it's like, it's something like 60 something % of dog attacks involving pit bulls mention the breed in the news article, where only like 5 to 7% mention it if it's not a pit bull. So we're just kind of hearing about, you know, aggressive dogs over and over. But yeah, I have mine, you know, I've done the best with him for the most part. He's a good dog, and you know, he's got his little fear issues, but you know.
Right.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up, dude. Thank you very much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. You're incorrect about the East Bay, but you're right on dogs. And is there anything you want to like plug as far as spaying and neutering?
Yeah, I just like spay and neuter your animals. Like the long-term consequences of what you're gonna do with your dog can go on for generations. So yeah, I definitely think that's one of the main ways that we can, you know, get on top of this. And as a result of that, these animals don't have to live their lives in shelters. They don't have to, you know, have these consequences. And you know, like I heard it the other day, you know, every 11 seconds somewhere in the United States, a dog gets euthanized. So not every state has no-kill shelters, and there's dogs being, you know, killed by the hundreds every year. So, yeah.
And how can someone, you said low cost, they can go to their local county? Yeah,
usually your local county will have some sort of low cost spay and neutering program. A lot of the rescues do it. I know out in the East Bay, there's some of the rescues will do it for as cheap as like $35 for like pit bull breeds, which is like unheard of.
That's great.
So yeah, contact your local county shelter. SPCA's do it, and it's usually a lot cheaper than your local vet. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Right on. Thank you for having me.
Support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish as well as all of my musical endeavors. I'm going to be playing music at Amelie Wine Bar in San Francisco on March 17th, Sunday, March 17th. I will be... No, I'll just plug that for now. And you can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano, FELICIANO. And leave a review, rate, and share this with your less offended friends. And thank you very much, AG.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye.